Well, recently I joined the bandwagon and I got myself an iPhone. Does that mean I've become an Apple home fanboy? Not necessarily. While I do like the app, there was a number of things that I thought other companies did a lot better. I'm going to show you guys all the products that I've changed out to be Apple home compatible and some of the ones that just didn't make the cut. Now let's go. I'm going to start out with a controversial topic. I actually decided to stick with the Google doorbell. I love the rich notifications they provide. I'm not all in on the Apple Secure Video. We have real link cameras. So of the two options that were given for Apple home compatible doorbells, I didn't really like either, and I'm really happy with what we have here. Looking over at our lock, I've got the Yale Assure, which is Apple home compatible. It's a great lock. I really also like the Schlag and Code Plus, but I wanted it to match our hardware. And the one that I had was the oil bronze color that they sent me for testing. And so I'm just waiting for the nickel one to come back in stock. They've been out of stock forever. So in the meantime, this Yale Assure is a great lock, and we're really happy with that. I did change some of the cameras out as well. We had the Google Nest cameras all around our property previously. But what was happening is someone would come to the door and I'd get like 5 notifications because of all of the overlap. And since we have the Real-Link hardwired cameras in place already, we decided to stick with those. I am replacing the one up front here. I watched the Lifehacker video review on this dual lens camera. So we're replacing the dome camera with this one. However, as you can tell, it's very icy. We got a lot of snow here, and it's just not safe to be up on a ladder. So I started the process, and as I was going to screw it in place, I didn't feel comfortable. So I'm going to wait until it's a little bit warmer and get that swapped out and start testing that. But really excited about it. Welcome to our home. One of my favorite smart home features is lighting. In a previous video, I showed you guys that I was replacing my Caseta lighting with the new versions of the Diva and the Clara switches. So I have completed that changeover, and now we have the nice touch buttons going on there. I did leave the Pico remotes in the 3-way configuration spots because I didn't want to have to rewire. They do have an accessory switch now that could go there, so it would match, but I actually have this one programmed so that it's going to control more lights in this area. So if we're taking the dogs out, we can hit one button, and that's going to light the whole way, and then we can hit the bottom button and have everything turn off. And so we really like this setup. If I'm going to be nitpicky here, and I am, the button here has a white light, but on the Pico, when I hit it, you can see it flashes green. So that's a little bit bothersome. I wish they would make a Pico remote that matched this style. I think that would look really nice. So Lutron, if you're watching, there's a product idea for you guys. If you make it, I'll buy it. I'll test it. I'll put it in my house. It'll be great. Let's do it. Come on, let's go. One of my favorite things with Lutron is that they are compatible with all of these smart home systems. So we were able to switch from Amazon to Google, now to Apple, and we can control those all natively, and it works great. Now, to get started with the Apple home system, you're either going to want to use the Apple TV or one of these HomePods. This is the HomePod Mini. There is a new Gen 2 version of the larger HomePod available now. I haven't purchased one of those yet, but you'll see that it now lives right next to the Google Home, and that's because Apple currently doesn't offer one with a screen. So
you'll never replace me.
Rumors have it that there will be something coming out in the future, but in the meantime, we've kept our friend Google here. That way we can see who's at the door, get weather updates, do some searches, things like that. So now they're just kind of battle it out here. So we have our Kohler kitchen faucet here, smart faucet. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. We don't ever actually use the voice control for this faucet, but we just, get one of these, one of those. In theory, we could have it dispense like 1 cup or more. We never do it. So, yeah, I think it's still worthwhile though, because I like, hands-free. But as far as like integrating this with our Apple home system, not really relevant. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do so. Our next video is going to feature air quality. I've got 5 different sensors here. So of course we have Apple TV so we can watch the latest episodes of Ted Lasso. So here we have the Roborock S7 Max V Ultra and the brand new S8 version. We've been testing this guy for only about a week now, so this isn't even actually out yet. But I did get a review unit ahead of time, so excited to share the upgrades with you guys right away. One good observation is that it does have the dual brush here, and as you can tell, we've got a corgi, so it's got a lot of hair. It does have two scrubbers now instead of just one, and then they've kind of changed like the look of the top. But one other thing I've noticed right off the bat is that the S7 did require to go back to the dock multiple times to charge to get this whole level, whereas our new version here has been able to do it all in one charge. So that's been kind of nice, actually. Every house that I build from this point on is going to have smart shading. We absolutely love that we can control our shades both by voice with the button on the wall here, as well as through different automations in our house. We have Ecobee sensors in each room. That way we're detecting occupancy as well as the temperature in that individual room. And so pairing that with our Lutron shades, we can actually set it so that the shades are going to raise or lower depending on what the temperature is. That helps us save money on utilities because these are south-facing windows, so we can utilize the sun and warm up our house for free. And if it's getting too hot, just lower those shades so that it stays cool. We've had these shades installed in our home for 4 years now, and we finally had to change the batteries. So not bad. Oh, milk, always a great choice. Oh no, I spilled. Oh geez, what am I gonna do? Well, it's a good thing that I have this fancy Roborock dyad cleaner. This vacuum is great for cleaning wet messes, even if there was like some Cheerios in there, I would just pick that right up. It's got some double rollers on the bottom there, clean water up top, dirty water goes down there. Really easy to just like pull it out and empty it. Out in the garage, we've got the MyQ garage door opener. It does actually pair with our cars, but the MyQ system is cloud-based and not the most reliable. So I was having issues with mine where I would approach the driveway and the garage door just didn't open, or other times where I would back out and leave and it didn't automatically close. And so we just been using our garage door openers for that. Not worth the $30 a year or whatever for the added subscription cost there. But it is nice to be able to use the app anytime and see, did I accidentally leave the garage door open and, close it remotely or let someone in. We did upgrade the lighting as well in here. These are just brighter LEDs. And then we've got some security cameras. We've got the ratio sprinkler system. It's winter here, so it's turned off right now. But we did go all in on electric as well. So I think I've shown my mower in the past. It's kind of packed up out of the way. But here's the Ego snowblower. So we get a lot of snow in the winter here in Minnesota. And this thing's actually held up really well. It gets the job done. So it's got 2 spots for batteries. And then we have 4 batteries. So we just have 2 in there, then trade them out. And so there's been one time when it was like really snowy where I had to go to the second set of batteries. But other than that, I've always just gotten by with just one set. So yeah, I really like it. Not only do we have cameras on all the entrances, we also have contact sensors on all of our doors. We're using Abode, that is Apple Home compatible. And the one thing we really like about it is that it uses a geofence so that when both my wife and I are outside of the radius, it's going to automatically arm. And then when we come home, it'll disarm for us. So we don't have to worry about rushing to get to a keypad on the wall, typing in a code or anything like that. It just works. Little caveat to that, though, is that if you're going to be out of town and you have someone watching your pets, be sure to disable that before you leave. Otherwise, the alarm will go off when you're on the plane, and there's nothing you can do about it because they can't reach you because you're in the sky. Don't ask me how I know that. So in our guest bedroom, we have the Google Dot for our guests. They can control the lights and the fan by voice. That's also through Lutron. And then we have a mesh router throughout our house, so we're getting good Wi-Fi everywhere. And then this device is actually for our solar, so that we can monitor how much energy it's producing. And honestly, I just put it here because it's close to where the thing is outside, and it's in a spot where we don't really go very often, and so it worked out well. So we did switch our thermostat back to Ecobee. The newest, latest, greatest version does have Siri built in. What we really like though is that those sensors do detect occupancy as well as the temperature, and so it's basing what it's set at on where you are in the house, and then averaging the temperature of those zones. And so we really like that. We also like just the clean look overall of the Ecobee thermostat. The fact that it has Siri built in isn't really a big deal to us, but we just love the thermostat overall. And things like this really pay for themselves with the money savings, just having it automatically get lowered when you're not around. So in our bedroom, we have the smart lighting, smart fan, smart shades, voice control. That's about it. Shh, don't tell Siri, but I've actually kept Alexa here in our bathroom for when I shower. I just love listening to music.
Your secret is safe with me.
We've also upgraded our bathroom a little bit. After talking to 5 different people that absolutely raved about their bidets, I wrote down and got one for myself. So here in the loo, we've got the new Bio bidet. This is the deluxe model. You'll see it doesn't quite actually fit the toilet because I purchased the elongated version, and apparently I have a round toilet, so I need to get that switched out. Hence why the toilet seat is still sitting here, but it does have a lot of cool features. And then this would, mount to the wall, but yeah, it's heated, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff that it does. I would describe it as life-altering. So, yeah, I wasn't a believer, but now I really am. It did require some light electrical and plumbing that went off without a hitch. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. That's a lie. No, it was a pain in the ass. I sprayed water everywhere. Wish I would have just hired someone. So in a previous video, you've seen our smart faucet from Moen, but you haven't seen our Bartesian cocktail maker. So with this, we can select from a pod. Oh, let's see. I'll do a mango margarita today. I place that in the cartridge here, much as if I were to be making coffee. Now it's going to say, place lowball with ice under the dispenser. Then we will hit the button for next. We're going to select the strength, anywhere from mocktail, light, regular, or strong. We'll just go with regular. We hit the button, and away we go. Ta-da! There we have a mango margarita. So we've got the different cartridges here that hold the tequila, the vodka. This spot can be the rum or gin, and then whiskey in the back. But it's pretty fun for guests. They have them, select the drink of their choice. You got all sorts of options here, from espresso martini, is a favorite, Long Island, rum breeze, you name it. Then they just make their selection, and it's pretty fun, good and entertaining. Here in the gym, the equipment is connected via Wi-Fi through the NordiTrack system. There's a bunch of different courses that you can do, live training and stuff like that. And then we've got a TV with just smart setup for it. That way you could watch a show in here or do the workouts that are on the TV as well. Since we purchased our home, we added solar, hot tub, EV chargers, and more in the basement. So we really filled up our box here, but we did add the Sense energy meter, which is just inside here, which is why there's a little antenna sticking out. What that does, it's monitoring each of the loads here, and then within the app I can see what our energy usage is. And so that's pretty cool. It's helped us become more conscious about the energy that we're using on our home and kind of identifying if there's ever any issues. Okay, my office is a little bit messy, but it's a work in progress. So In addition to creating content here on YouTube, I'm actually a writer for Realtor Magazine. I test a lot of smart home stuff. Surprise! And then by day, I'm a real estate agent. So I've got a bunch of stuff I'm working on here, and then back in this corner, I've kind of set it up so that it looks really nice if I have to do like a video meeting. I've got my diploma there with my master's degree. I've got some books on a bookshelf, and then I did Philips Hue lighting behind me. So I actually moved my desk to the middle of the room. That way the ceiling light that was previously behind me is now in front of me, and I don't get like that weird shadowy effect. And so with a room like this, it was awkward because it had that window there and then the lighting in the middle. So I found that this corner seems to work the best. And then it frees up a bunch of space over here that I'm not going to show you guys because it's just a bunch of stuff in progress. So yeah, a little insight into my world. Upstairs you saw that I've been testing the Roborock S8. Well, down here we've got the Narwhal Frio, which is primarily a mop type robot. So someone asked me, which one is your favorite? And to which I replied, which one of your kids is your favorite? All joking aside, they're completely different. So the Narwhal here has these rotating brushes on the bottom. It's really good for scrubbing the floor, and since we have mostly hard surface down here, that works really well. We often go from the stairs out through the patio with the dogs to let them out, so it's kind of a high traffic spot. But with the Narwhal, we do have the vacuuming bin, but it's not self-emptying. So within the base station, we have these very large, dirty and clean water tanks, which is great. So what happens is the robot's going to go back into its base station, and then it's going to clean the mops and refill it and everything like that. It's shocking how dirty this water gets. It's actually really gross. If you could smell YouTube through YouTube, when I open this, oh God. Oh God, guys, it's just horrible. Whew. So it's got to be doing its job, right? But the Narwhal does work really well down here. We love it for the surface. Upstairs, Roborock's doing a great job with Winston's hair. So that one's doing all that vacuuming and stuff. And so, there's not really an apples to apples comparison. And so that's why I can't really say which one's my favorite. I really like both. But yeah, that's the Narwhal. Here we are in the utility room. We've got our water shut off. This is the Bulldog valve. It just clamps onto our existing water main. If a leak is detected anywhere in the house or from this sensor here, it's going to go ahead and close the valve. I did try to test out the Titan. However, because of the elbow that's there and the thickness of the pipe, the clamps didn't fit. I did test it out right here on a line that goes to our sprinkler system. It worked great there. Obviously, I don't need an auto turn off for my sprinkler system. So I did remove it. I'm going to install this at my mom's house. She's super excited about it because her friend got the Moen system, and so now she thinks she needs something like it. So this is what she's getting. We'll probably do that next weekend. But yeah, come over here. I'll show you what we got for our security system. All right, so we've got our Reolink NVR system hooked up with screens so we can come down here. I've only had to look at it twice now, and actually both times is because something happened at my neighbor's house. So, but yeah, we have all of our entrances on there. It's recording 24/7. We can look at it through the app as well. We have a number of different devices here as well. We've got our main Eero mesh network. So we've got one upstairs, we've got one in my office, and then this one here. We've got the switch, so everything in our house, all the rooms have Ethernet. This is just powering that. We did purchase our own modem, of course, so that way we don't have to rent from our service provider. Then we've got our Lutron Caseta bridge and our Philips Hue bridge. Then it's in a different room right now currently, but I have the Habitat as well as the Abode. So those are kind of the systems that are running everything in our house right now. I think when we do our next house, I'd like to do a rack and combine both the networking equipment as well as our AV equipment, which is currently in our theater. So let's go check that out next. So here in the theater, we've got our Control 4 remote. It's the Neo. It's hooked up to our system there for audio. We've got all of our inputs in here for like Roku, we got our Nintendo, our Xbox, things like that. And then everything's run through our 4K projector up there. So 7.1 surround sound in here, I believe. But it's really nice to be able to just have one remote. That way, if we have guests over, they're not, switching between everything. And for us, all of our AV equipment is actually hidden in these cabinets. So this actually works out really well for us. And if you'll come over here, check out this. My sister-in-law got this for me for Christmas, and we actually put it together. But it's the Home Alone house in Lego form. Now, can you imagine what the movie would be like if Kevin had smart home technology? It'd be pretty fun. But yeah, I think it's really cool. We need to get some more things for our shelves here. We did the renovation over the summer. It's just kind of very sparse currently. But we love this room. We love the space. Just having a dedicated area for watching movies with the chairs that recline has been a lot of fun for us. And we really get a lot of use out of this area. Around the holidays, we like to use smart plugs to control lighting around our house. If you're an Amazon user, I really like just the Amazon basic smart plug. For Apple users, the new Eve plug that uses Thread is great. You just scan the code here and it gets set up right away. Great plug, and it does have energy monitoring as well. And then now they've got the Matter standard that's being rolled out. And so this device from Eros can actually be connected to all three systems. I did have some difficulty getting it set up. You do want to be on the 2.4 gigahertz network. And then if you're going to connect a Matter device to more than one system, you do need to create these clones or whatever it is. And so really, I would just recommend connecting it to one system and using it there. If you do that, it's pretty easy. You just scan it and then away you go. And so for me, I was able to do that through Apple, and that was really straightforward. And so, yeah, smart plugs are great. Just get one that works. I mean, honestly, the cheaper the better. You just want something that turns on when you tell it to, right? It's not too crazy. So 3 good options here for you. Now let's talk more about lighting control here. So we have Philips Hue in our patio area, and so I'm actually using the Lutron Aura, which is like a Friends of Hue program. So again, the button and then a dial to control the bulbs out there, and so they're actually getting constant power. That way, everything out there has power. We've got some outlets as well. For the rail lighting, I've got a Lutron outdoor plug set up that those are plugged into, and I've got that paired with this Pico remote. And so that's all being set up there. And then on this side, I've got a Pico remote that's actually controlling the lighting in this room. And so it's these lights as well as the lights over there. That way, when I come out to let the dogs in or out, I can just hit one button. I really wanted to get those labeled Pico remotes where you can do the different scene control. But I actually found out when doing my research that the Caseta versions, instead of acting as an on-off, so it wouldn't be stairs is a button, bar is a button, which is what I wanted. It's actually going to be different scenes. And so the bottom button would be all off. And it's going to be about $100 to have one Pico remote created. And so I just never ended up pulling the trigger on it. But I thought it would be cool to have that here, just have one for the outside and one for this area. So something to keep in mind. The next time we build a house, I really want to do RA2 or RA3 lighting. That would open up a lot more options, or even a Crestron Horizon keypad. I think those look really slick. But for now, this works really well. Just kind of goes to show that there's so many different ways that you can control smart lighting. You could also use Zeus or Innovalle or a Brilliant control. And so lots of options out there. You're not really limited to just on, off, and dimming. You can do so much more. Outside, we've upgraded our cameras from the Google Nest to now the Reolink Track Mix. So for this camera, we actually are utilizing an outlet that's just right there. So it's got constant power, and that's putting the signal back to our NVR unit where it's recording 24/7. The cool thing is that it has tracking technology. So if I move around the yard here, you can see that it's following me. And this is a location where we already had a camera that was watching the gate, but we're actually using this to watch the dogs. So we have the fence area for the dogs, but one of our dogs eats poop, And so we need to make sure that we pick it up right away. And it's really cold here in the winter in Minnesota. So with these cameras, they're just track the dogs as they go about and do their thing. That way we don't have to stand out here with them. It works really well. But on the other side, we didn't have access to an outlet. So we've got a solar panel there. So here, this camera has a solar panel. Unfortunately, this one doesn't record to the NVR unit. It has an SD card in it instead, so we can just pull it up on the app. There is a little bit of a delay, but for what we're using it for, it's fine. And again, it has the tracking, and it's dual lens, so it has like the zoomed out version of me walking around, as well as a nice close-up shot, which for us is just the dogs. But for other people, it probably makes more sense, tracking criminals and whatnot. But this is a very weird use case that we have. Thanks for stopping by and checking out our home. I put together a list of all of the best smart home tours I've found on YouTube. I'm going to link it right here. Go check it out. See what all the other YouTube creators have come up with. Until next time, take care.